Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hand. What happens? She was crying in the room. The shadow was going. She saw the shadow in the shadowed room, watching the evening light. Till evening she was crying. And then father came into the room with a ruler, a kind of stick in his hand. I am going to beat you for this, he said. Oh, no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. And she was hiding, she was feared. Okay, this little girl, Kezia. He pulled them aside. What? That bedclothes and all. He pulled them aside. Sit up, he ordered, and hold your hands. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. And he said, sit up here, and you must be taught once that you shall not touch anything that does not belongs to you. So that is why he was punishing him. But it was for you, your birthday, birthday, like this. Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. See, this child is beaten finally, and her palms became pink, reddish, due to the ruler's beating. And when grandmother had wrapped her hand in a shawl, grandmother wrapped her, made her to sit in the rocking chair that moves to and fro, and she clung to her soft body. She was like all her hands and feet brought in together, खींच के हाथों में पैर वगैरह पकड़ के ऐसे बैठ जाना. What did God make fathers for? She sobbed, crying. She was crying, crying. She was crying. She was not able, sobbing, taking bigger breath while crying. That is called sobbing. Why God made fathers? Here's a clean, hunky darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep, pet. You will forget all about it in the morning. And what the grandmother says, here's clean hanky, darling. This is the clean hanky, good hanky. Blow your nose. Blow your nose. So what do we call it? To clean your nose. Go to sleep. Sleep, my dear pet, favorite. You will forget everything, even the punishment. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. And she said that I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset. He was not listening tonight. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back, and a red color flew into her cheeks, and she used to become red. With anger. She was angry. She could not forget. Okay. The McDonald's lived next door. The family, McDonald family. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby, Mao, on his shoulders. 2 little girls hanging on his coat pockets ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he tried to catch them, laughing all the time. No, she was watching that the neighborhood McDonald family was living, and how many children were there? 5 children were there. They had 5 children, and they were playing with their father. They were playing tagging game, touching game, tagging game. Children generally play to touch and call it out. Now you touch me. So such game, catching games and touching games, they were playing around his pockets. They were pulling his coat and pocket, and they were even climbing his shoulders. Then it was she decided there were different sorts of fathers, and now she saw that this is my father, who is very strict. I have fear about him. And this is the McDonald father. There are different fathers. So she decided, she made her mind. Suddenly one day, mother became ill, and she and grandmother went to hospital. One day mother was ill and the grandmother went to hospital. Her mother and grandmother went to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. He was a cook and she was alone. That was all right in the daytime. It was all right in the daytime. Daytime she was ready to live with Alice, but now what to do at night time? But while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid, and now she was afraid when she was put into bed because my grandmother and mother both were not there. She was alone in the room. What will I do if I have nightmare, some dream, a bad dream? She asked. And I often have nightmares, and then grandmother takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It will all get whispery. They keep on listening, whispering. So they keep on their whispers. They listen. They feel somebody is whispering. So she was not ready to live in the darkness. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice. Alice, the cook said, you just go to sleep, pulling off her socks. And don't you scream and wake your poor father. So Papa. So she said that what the Alice says, and you just go to sleep and don't make your poor father. Is it poor father for that little girl? It's not. But the same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, Grandma. She woke shivering to see father beside her bed and a candle in his hand. What is the matter? He said. And now what happened? She slept, Alice went, and she had the same nightmare, same dream, same bad dream she used to have. A butcher comes. Butcher, the fellow meat cutter, okay, so meat maker. So the fellow came over in her dream. She was laughing, smiling, laughter with a knife. He was approaching to her, and she woke up with a shout, Grandma. And what happened to her surprise? Father beside her bed. She found her father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. There was a candle in his hand, and he asked, what's the matter? Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want Granny. I blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms. He blew out the candle. So she was frightened. He immediately understood that she was frightened due to the nightmare. So he blew out the candle. It was blown away, and bent down and caught up the little child in his arm, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. And he took her to big bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child there. There was a newspaper kept where on the bed, and he let her sit on the bed there. Half asleep still, he lay down beside her. Half asleep still, she was half asleep. She was in the half sleep. Okay, still with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. She crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arms, held tightly to his shirt. She was so frightened. That of the butcher, of the dream, that she forgot that it is her father who is same fearful figure for her. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still, and in his arms she snuggled. ये होते हैं animals, they snuggle. वो अपना सर बार बार आपको लगाते like that. So she snuggled. So and in that way, and she came close to her father. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. What the father said? That you rub your feet against my leg, on my leg, so your feet will be warmer. Tried out, he slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big. After all, and with no one to look after him, he was harder than grandmother. but it was a nice hardness, and every day he had to work and was too tired to be Mr. McDonald. Oh my God. See, the little girl Kezia understood what she understood. Poor father. He said that you will feel warm and you will go sleep. But this poor father slept before Kezia could sleep. Because why he could sleep? He was so much tired. His work was so hard. It was not like McDonald's work. So he worked so hard, so he slept. So she feels that it is very hardness. His work is very hard and he is tired. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stirred suddenly and sighed, and she torn up all his beautiful writing, whatever he has written, and she stirred a little shock moment came in her body. Shocking moment. So she was with that, the hairs got up on your hand, such kind of, that is called staring, and sighed. What's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? And the father asked, what happened, dear child? Any another dream? Oh, said the little girl, my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear. And see, the story Kezia ends up with such a finest sentence. Catherine Mansfield, she is a lady and she is famous for such kind of writing, and her writing expertness you will come to know by this line, that what the line is. My head is on your heart, my dear father. What she says, my head is on your heart. I can hear it going. It is working. What a big heart you have got, father dear father. What a big heart you have got. So this was the story, dear student. Read it again, understand it, and I'll send you try to solve yourself first, and then I'll send you. Okay, and tomorrow again I'll send you the next poem, Rain on the Roof. Okay, dear students, good day.